Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Great Day Houston. Just when you thought you knew how to navigate the information superhighway, as my mom would always call it, now comes this thing called the Metaverse. What is that exactly, and why are people predicting real money to be made in a fabricated world? As the movie Ready Player One shows, you can accomplish in the Metaverse what you might not be able to do in real life, and you can live that double life.
A whole virtual universe. People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do. But they stay because of all the things they can be.
Can you feel it?
It may look like fun and games, but it's actually a brave new world and a new frontier. Joining us to explain what the Metaverse is and the commerce and complications that can come with it is Dr. Cesare Wright, Director of Digital Media Initiatives at the University of St. Thomas. Good morning.
Thank you for having me. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, because this looks crazy, right? It's like anytime you delve off into this side of the world, a lot of us need you to slow it down, pump the brakes a little bit, and ease us into it. Okay, you are the president of the KHOU Center at the University of St. Thomas. You created and launched the new My Meta college course because this is the direction we're going.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people don't realize how the metaverse is going to transform our lives in so many ways. And not only the opportunities that we have in the workforce in careers, but also how we understand who we are as human beings. I think a lot of that's going to be transformed.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look back generationally how a lot of people missed the curve. Like some people missed the curve on computer literacy and had to play catch up. You are the director of Microsoft Epic program as well. So you're trying to make sure that that next generation is proficient at this. The rest of us are just going to have to play catch up, like I said. Okay, let's just slow it down for a minute and say Metaverse. What is the Metaverse? We're going to pull over on the shoulder of the information superhighway and pause for a second with that.
Yeah, so the metaverse at the most basic level is an interconnected virtual universe. And that interconnectivity is key. So in the past, we've had augmented and virtual reality, ways that you could enter into these immersive environments through the HoloLens, the Oculus, HoloLens augmented reality, Oculus virtual reality, but that was never connected. And pretty soon, the metaverse is going to connect all aspects of our life, the way we live, education, commerce, interacting with our families, traveling the world, all of that will be in this interconnected space, and we'll all share that experience. That's what's new.
Yeah, okay, so we'll have an avatar, for example, and there'll be our virtual personhood or our virtual sapien, if you will, that can be living this almost like a parallel life to us, but we can change all kinds of things in that other world.
Exactly. So you'll have your physical sort of material reality, and that's going to start to bleed into the metaverse. So you can build your meta house, and it could look like your house, but it could be anywhere. It could be on the side of a mountain, whatever. The things you have in the real world will have what's called digital twins. Digital twinning is taking something material and real, digitizing that and putting it into your metaverse. So the music archive that you have in Amazon, for instance, you could bring that in and have it as like old school LPs virtually in the metaverse. And that's going to open a lot of interesting possibilities. You mentioned the virtuo sapien, which I think is the rise of this new way of experiencing sort of human existence that's going to blur the lines between what separates our physical world and then what's possible in this new virtual world.
Yeah, okay, so now we have a kind of a whole new e-commerce, if you will. Like you mentioned a house. So theoretically, someone could say, okay, I have a real estate company in the metaverse. In order for you to have your house, you have to buy your house from me in the metaverse.
Exactly. So, and then who regulates that? So where do you get your licensures for different skills? So if you're a lawyer and you have a dispute in the metaverse, the interesting thing about the metaverse is it's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It's not localized to a particular nation or a particular locality or municipality. So who regulates law there? Who regulates commerce, real estate, all of those things? And in order to ensure that people know what they're doing in these different fields, how is that going to be licensed? Who's going to run that? These are all the interesting possibilities that arise. Law, medicine, like you said, real estate.
Yeah, commodities and properties, whatever you have in the real world can spill over into that metaverse world. Let's say somebody goes, I really would like to have a Ferrari, but that's $250,000. I can't have a Ferrari, but in the metaverse, I can have some things that I might not can have in real life.
Exactly, and not only that, but I think what's going to happen is this extension of virtual ego, where I think what will happen with the Ferrari example is at first, when you buy a Ferrari in the real world, Only people who buy that Ferrari will get a virtual twin of that Ferrari. So when you're cruising around in your Meta Ferrari, everybody knows, this person has a real Ferrari. But then a few years from now, Ferrari's going to offer a special edition Meta Ferrari, where for one time only $20,000, you can buy the virtual Ferrari without owning the real Ferrari.
And here's the crazy thing, people will do it.
People will do it, and that's that extension of virtual ego, and that's what you see in Ready Player One, that idea that maybe you're not happy with your real life, but you can create this virtual life in this virtual world where you are, quote unquote happy.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of pros and cons to that.
Predicting into the future, there will be more of a blending of the lines between the real world and that metaverse world. Like your avatar can start doing things for you. I can go grocery shopping for you.
That's what's really interesting to me personally about the metaverse. People are focusing on the experience of it, which I think is cool. But when the metaverse intersects with artificial intelligence, and you have your Meta Deborah that's just existing in your meta space. Now, when you're
Meta Deborah's a size 4, by the way, everybody.
Your Meta Deborah can be whatever you want Meta Deborah to be, right? And she exists in your metaverse. When you're there and you're inhabiting that avatar, you're navigating it. You're acting as that avatar. What happens when you leave? Does she just sit there on the meta couch and wait?
No, she needs to work.
She's going to work. And when you impose an artificial intelligence on that, now Meta Deborah can be doing your meta gardening while you're out, or working meta jobs, cleaning your meta house, whatever. And then we start to have issues of, at what point, when you infuse that artificial intelligence with virtual avatars, do they become persons? At what point, when they pass the Turing test and they're indistinguishable from a human intelligence, we begin to think about issues of civil rights, of if somebody is murdered, is that theft of property,
yeah.
Or is it punishable under certain laws? And all of those laws haven't been written yet. So for me, as a professor teaching students, I think it's just a really exciting new frontier for exploring new possibilities, new career opportunities, and really thinking harder about who we are.
Now, there are a lot of people who are listening to this going, this is really exciting. This could be some great new possibilities. There are other people who are saying, this is crazy talk. But the bottom line is we keep advancing as humans. And I'm going to take it way back to when movies first hit the movie theaters. And there's an example that you used where there was a train coming through a tunnel.
Yeah, one of the first motion pictures shown in theaters was a train. It was just a train in motion. People lost their minds. People were running out, leaving the theater.
They thought the train was coming at them.
Intellectually, they knew that I'm in a movie theater, I'm safe. This is an image of a train. This is not going to hit me. But their body couldn't respond that way. They panicked. People were having panic attacks and leaving because of that fear of something new. It's a new type of experience we don't understand, and we don't know how to respond to it. And to me, that's an interesting space, and an opportunity for us is to educate people and to put people at the front of that so that they do understand what they're getting into. So we eliminate and alleviate a lot of that fear while also being practical about there are some real risks and concerns. Let's address those, and let's do it through education and training people.
Ready or not, here it comes. So how do people prepare for the metaverse? And of course, it's going to have to evolve where it becomes much more accessible.
Right. It's right now there's going to be a lot of technical barriers to entry. I think it's going to be like everything else. It's going to become more and more accessible over time, just like the personal computer. But I think we can get in front of the skilling. And that's what my bias is. I really want to train people and make sure they're prepared. We run a lot of free programs. I also don't believe in breaking the bank to gain these new digital skills. So through my programs with Microsoft, we offer a lot of free opportunities in the community. Through University of St. Thomas, we're going to be offering free programs and college level programs. But I encourage people to really look around out there, whether it's YouTube videos, whether it's free online courses. Find some way to gain some of the basic skills so that you at least understand it. You don't have to be able to navigate the metaverse at this point, but you need to understand some of what it's bringing to our lives.
All right, not just fun and games anymore. Dr. Wright, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And for more information on Dr. Cesare Wright and the Microsoft Epic and My Meta program at the University of St. Thomas, log on to greatdayhouston.com and we will connect you.